The Alpha Sessions live on Radio Brockley.
Yeah, it's the Alpha Sessions. We're celebrating our 10-year anniversary, and I'm laughing because as that jingle went into play, I just bashed my funny bone on the chair really, really hard. But we're also joined by Rae Kelly. Hello.
Hello.
It's such a pleasure to have you back. We were just chatting about this off air. I haven't seen you since 2013, which seems ridiculous.
I was just saying to Alan, was it 2012? I don't remember.
Well, I checked out that the last time was just before you released Out of My Head.
Okay. So at least I have something new to talk about.
No, you do. So yeah. So welcome back.
Thank you. Thank you so much for inviting me along.
No,
I really
it's so
appreciate
good.
it.
It's so good.
It's great to see you guys.
So good to have you. How's the last 5 years been for you? Sum them up in a sentence.
It's a great question. The last 5 years, it's been it's been a tough few years.
Okay.
Had some health issues that have unfortunately hindered my ability to sing. As you can probably still hear my voice, I'm a bit croaky. So I sort of went off grid for a bit and stopped gigging.
Wow.
Did a marketing course, just did some other things for a while. But in the meantime, I have had an EP that's been sitting, waiting for me to finish since 2014.
You'll finish it. It'll be fine.
Yeah. So that, I mean, it's annoying because I listen to what we've done and I'm like, oh, I'm really excited about this, but I just haven't been able to pull my master vocals out of the bag. And my producer is a touring musician, so it's trying to schedule the time has been tricky as well. But I think I'm finally at the stage now where we can go in and finish it, so that's quite exciting. So hopefully 4 new tracks coming your way. It's quite strange, yeah. I'm glad that this is actually probably the first radio thing I've done in 4 years. Yeah,
since last time you were here? No,
since last time I was here. Yeah, but God, maybe.
No, I'm just taking the mickey. It definitely wasn't.
No, that's all right.
So something that keeps coming up for me, and I'll be honest, like, I obviously listened to your tracks and we saw you last time, and I've listened to your tracks on and off, but I refreshed my memory of what you sounded like recorded over the last week. And something that still doesn't fail to amaze me is the ability that you have to just make someone switch off totally to their surroundings whilst listening to your music.
That's a really nice thing to say, thank you.
And I mean, like, just to paint the picture, I was in my kitchen listening on, like, Alexa.
So modern.
I know, right? And literally, like, the cooking was boiling over because I just, like, totally distracted myself from listening to your music. And then I was like, oh no, like, nearly burnt the food. So, like, that's the kind of setup that you've created by your amazing voice. And I think, to use the cliche, good things come to those who wait.
Well,
I'm
I
hoping
hope
that
so,
EP comes out soon. Because yeah, it will sound amazing, I'm sure of it.
Oh, thank you very much. Yeah, that's really cool. I can add that to my list of accomplishments.
Have the ability to make people burn food.
Yeah.
Thumbs up. Excellent. When writing the music at the time, was that your intention? I mean, not the burning food bit, but to distract people from the outside world.
I guess when I originally started writing, I wasn't really thinking about the end listener. You know, I was quite introspective, and I did it for my own enjoyment.
Yeah.
And a lot of my songs that I wrote in my teens, my early 20s, are, you know, quite emotional. Obviously, that typical singer-songwriter, very self-involved type things that I think sound great, and you play them to someone, you're like, is this good? I don't know. And, you know, people come back and sometimes they say, yeah, I really like this. So that's a great feeling. So, yeah. No, I guess people have always said to me I have a very cinematic sound, and that probably stems from my love of film music. I'm a huge film music fan. I also love to write instrumental stuff too, so it probably comes from that, I guess.
If you could write a track for a dream film that's already happened,
oh goodness, that's
what
really
film
hard.
would it be?
Oh no, it's a really difficult question. I'd love to work with was it Damien Chazelle?
Yes.
I just saw First Man, and the soundtrack.
Oh, I really want to see that.
My boyfriend and I have been listening to the soundtrack like every day since we went to see it last weekend.
Who's on the soundtrack?
It's Justin Hurwitz again, who did La La Land.
Yeah.
And he it's just beautiful. He brings in a theremin, and apparently he learned to play it himself from scratch. He had no clue how to play a theremin. He just bought one, learned to play it on YouTube.
As you do.
And it's beautiful. Just listen to the soundtrack. Yeah, it's gorgeous.
I'm a big fan of Claire Foy as well, so
yeah, I didn't realise it was her. I was shocked when I realised it was her. I haven't seen The Crown, but I know Claire Foy, and yeah, she's brilliant in it. Really, really good.
Yeah, no, Claire Foy's amazing. Anyway, we're not here to talk about Claire Foy. We're here to talk about you. Last time you were here, you just released Out of My Head.
I had, yeah.
and you've got an EP that's waiting to come out.
Yeah.
But in terms of like where we're at the moment, is there a timeline for the EP? Are we gonna like see how it goes?
It's a little bit loosey goosey, unfortunately.
Okay.
But I'm aiming to get back in the studio before the year is out, smash out some vocals.
Well, it's October, so you haven't got long.
I haven't. No, I'm always the last minute Kelly is sort of my middle name. No,
That's great.
Yeah, well, I kind of like to get back in. My Andy Carr, who I've been working with on it, he's due to be back soon, so we're going to meet up and have a chat, and hopefully I'll use up some of my holiday time from work to get back in and just lay some stuff down. So I mean, I would aim for early next year to I have to put some sort of deadline on it now because it's been 4 years and it's, it will never end otherwise. I'll get to my 40s and be like, oh, that EP, I should have finished.
What did you miss the most when you took your break?
Oh, I don't know. I think it's funny performing. I do miss performing, even though I have a love-hate relationship with it, because when I started out, I hated it. I really loathed it. I really loathed it.
Because of nerves? Or?
Yeah. I just never felt comfortable as a performer, which is funny because I was in bands and like I'd perform in music groups in school and that was all fine, but as soon as it came to doing my own material, it's so exposing.
Yeah, of course.
You start to question, am I any good? And I used to get very uptight about making mistakes, and when you start to think about making mistakes, you make mistakes, and then I would beat myself up because I'd made a mistake when no one really cares, and
half the time we wouldn't even notice if you haven't said anything.
Well, this is what my mum used to always tell me, and my parents, bless them, like I have so many funny memories of when I was a teenager, my parents driving me to a gig and I'd be in
Your parents drove you downhill or something?
Oh, my dad did, yeah, he did. Great roadies. They put up with so much for me. I've a really funny memory of playing Bewley's in Dublin, and I was so nervous, and my parents in the car driving me over, and I just had a complete freak attack in the back of the car, and I was just like, I don't want to do this, I can't do this, let's go home, I'm not doing it.
So how did you get around it?
Well, I just get there, and then all of a sudden you have to switch to kind of artist mode, and you just deal with it. And I mean, I guess over time it did get easier.
Yeah.
And actually the last gig I played was down at have you heard of M Festival? Down at Marlborough School in St Albans. They do a festival there every year.
Oh, because that's where you're from. You're quite local.
I'm from St Albans. So they do a great festival there and bring in local musicians. And even then it had been a few months since I'd played, but it was great to get up and go, oh, I can kind of go into, not automatic pilot, but I can kind of put my nerves in the passenger seat now.
Is it kind of like another person takes over?
It is. Yeah, it is. I think it's like anything with practice, you get better, but when you get really nervous about things, you just have to put yourself in situations that you're nervous in, and eventually that those nerves where they used to be, taking the steering wheel and steering you off the edge of the cliff, that suddenly they're in the back seat and you're just saying, shh, it's okay, I'll take over, you just sit back there. And that's where I feel like I'm at now, so I can kind of remove that part of me and pull through it, and I did start to miss it, because I realised then that as I was playing, I was like, God, I'm actually really enjoying the moment rather than wishing this was over.
Before we do an interview, I used to do a bit of digging around about someone.
Oh, God.
And I found out that you also play guitar. Is this a new thing? How did I not know this?
Well, because I hadn't played guitar for about 6 years. So I used to play when I was very young, 11, 12, in a church choir group. It was so funny. So in our church choir, we had like 9 guitarists. I don't know how. We must have drowned out all the singers. There were so many of us.
And you were all mic'd up?
No, we had like vocal mics.
Okay.
I mean, we didn't need to be, because there was 8 of us playing the same thing.
Wow.
So I used to play acoustic guitar. But I just never really quite took to it, because my piano was my primary instrument, and I just felt like, oh, I'm not a guitarist, I'm not very good. And then I took some lessons and started to learn more fingerstyle playing, classical guitar, and I loved that. And for some reason I stopped, and I think it was because I got frustrated with trying to play bar chords, and I just gave up on it. And it's only in recent years I've kind of gone, oh, I really would love to play again. My boyfriend plays, so there's guitars in our flat. We've got 2 guitars and a bass, and suddenly I was like, oh, I'd really quite like to be able to just rock up to a gig with a guitar on my shoulder rather than having to lug a piano around. It's a bit easier, you know, and even just being able to go into an open mic night to play a couple of songs just because you feel like it.
Yeah.
You know, you can't really do that with a piano. So for the sake of...
What, are you telling me you haven't got a piano just in a backpack?
Well, I wish they would create one that would like collapse.
There you go, there's an invention, a backpack piano.
Or maybe I should just learn accordion. And,
yeah, fair.
Yeah, or what you call it?
A flute?
No. The one where you blow through into the keys, not kazoo. What's it called? I can't remember what it's called.
I don't know, but when you do that with your fingers on the radio, that doesn't really work.
Yeah, well, it's like a keyboard and you blow into it.
I don't know what's that called.
Unless I've invented an instrument, in which
saxophone?
case I'm patenting. No, it is a real thing. I just can't remember what it's called.
Okay, we're going to find out after this, I think.
Yeah.
But no, I think I would always associate you with the keyboard and piano. Like in my head, it just doesn't work. Somehow.
Yeah, well, it's an interesting thing when you
don't work with the
instruments.
guitar, but it's more like a brain association.
Yeah.
thing.
Well, I have written some. I don't know if you've heard my song "Cold Wind Blows." I wrote that on guitar originally, and then switched it to piano. But it changes your writing style, which I find really interesting. So I'm very drawn to sort of jazzy chords on the guitar. Yeah. And I just noticed my writing style changes a bit. So it's it's a good way to broaden your horizons a bit if you get
broaden your instrumentation.
Stuck. Yes, yeah. And it's great because now I have a friend who's a guitarist who plays gigs with me, and now I can actually direct him a little bit better because I understand the guitar. Well, he'll probably argue with that. Yeah, play up the fret a bit more.
Sorry, what chord is that?
Play that chord that up there, yeah.
The one that comes after B and before D, right? You also recently recorded a creative project with some friends in I can't say this. Chillickbury. Yeah. Whereabouts is that?
So that is very near in St Albans.
Okay.
It's about
Chillickbury.
Chillickbury. I've never been to the Chillickbury Arts Fair.
I was like Childwickbury.
Yeah. It's a funny name. It's actually where it's Stanley Kubrick's house. Ah, okay. And no, you should check it out. They do a really great arts fair for Christmas and summer. Yeah. And I've played there a few times for their summer fairs. Okay. But recently I decided, as part of getting myself out of my gigantic rut, that I would set myself a goal to just sing a live session. So I got my friend Mark Ulrich, who's a guitarist, to accompany me, so that all I had to do was turn up and sing. Yeah. But I didn't realise that in itself was its own challenge, because I'm used to sitting and playing and singing. And suddenly I'm standing and I don't know what to do with my arms.
So what did you do with your arms?
Well, if you watch it, you'll see that one arm stays here and one arm does something weird. I don't know. But it's a learning curve. But yeah, no, it was actually, I could bear to watch myself, so that's a good sign. I wasn't too rigid, but it was, a good experience.
You'll get there. It's a work in progress.
It is a work in progress.
Have you got any upcoming gigs booked, or is that still a work in progress?
I'm the worst musician at the moment. I have no upcoming gigs. I have no release dates. I will do soon. Okay. Yeah, I need to get out. I will be playing down the Horn soon because I live just up the road. So
this is the Horn in St Albans.
The Horn in St Albans. Yeah, it's where I started when I moved here. It feels like the right place to.
It's a great little pub, that is.
Yeah, it's a great venue. They get some really good acts. I don't know if you know
Amazing
Lone Bellow.
acts. Yeah.
Lone Bellow played there recently, and yeah, it was fantastic.
So don't laugh, I was sitting on the train and it was a typical situation with Thameslink, the train provider even, that was weird, where it cuts out the middle stop and it goes straight to the end and I ended up in St Albans. So I got an unplanned trip to St Albans. And I sat in the Horn for about an hour, which was fun. I got to explore the upcoming gigs. And make some notes in my diary, so that was really good.
Yeah, they get some good artists there.
Great
They had Lizzie play there recently. Wheatus played there.
Yeah, I remember being like,
I was really upset that I missed that. Yeah.
So hopefully some upcoming gigs soon. Where can we go and find you online, where you're going to be listing those upcoming gigs?
So I've got a website, raekelly.com, which is in dire need of updating. But I'm on all the social media channels, so if you search /Rae Kelly
and it's Rae,
music,
R-A-E, not R-A-Y.
R-A-E, yeah. Cool. R-A-E, Kelly, K-E-L-Y, music. Instagram, Facebook, whatever your social media platform of choice.
So look out for upcoming gigs, fingers crossed.
Well, there will be. And look out for the new session that's going to go live on YouTube, hopefully this week.
Okay, cool.
And
EP before the end of the year.
Well, we'll see, but I will be documenting my progress. So follow me on Instagram, come say hi, and you'll see some very silly videos.
Luck.
Oh, thank you very much. I really appreciate you having me here.
No, like,
and thank you to you guys, to you and Alan, for everything you do for local acts.
Like,
because you work so hard. It's amazing. Look at all these great musicians in one place.
We're gonna have a hug in a minute to say no. And thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you for having me. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Will do.
Thank you.